Hey, everybody. It's 8 o'clock straight up on a Wednesday night. I got a special treat for you tonight. We're going to have Florida Jim. But I want to tell you something. Uh, Usually I have to wait for a minute or two to get some people in here, but I've had some really good friends come in here early, like Colleen O'Sullivan and Margot Dahlgren, Linda Horner, Propus, and there's more. I just don't want to miss anybody. Let's see who else is in here. Oh Lord, I can't see right now. Having to go way back. But we've got people in here, and I'm really glad you're here. Um, just a second, I'm going to bring Florida Jim in. We're going to give a couple of minutes to get some people in here, and then Florida Jim is going to join me, and we're going to do some good stuff. So as soon as I see a couple more people come in here, we'll get started. But in the meantime, I want to welcome all of you here. And hello, Gary. Glad to see you, brother. We've got 9 people in here. Let's get one more. Pete the Patriot, my dear friend, and 12B, Georgia. Great. Glad to see you guys here. We get one more, and I'm going to get started. But I'm going to tell you, we have a great guest tonight, and that's Florida Jim. And Florida Jim is a fantastic patriot. He's got great content, and he's a funny guy. Before he comes in, I want you to know that Florida Jim now lives in Florida, of course. He's a transplant from Illinois. So we're glad to have him here in the South. Florida Jim has been a comedian. He's been a radio host. He's been a dog trainer. And he's happily married. And that's always a good thing. I know Florida Jim is a friend and a content creator, and I know that he would rather be honest and hated than to be fake and loved. And I stole that off of his bio in the About section. So anyway, Tactical Technician, CLC in Florida. All right, we got 11 people in here. As soon as Florida Jim shows his pretty face, I'm going to click on him, and there he is. So let's get Florida Jim up here with me. And now we have Florida Jim.
Hello.
Let me put my headphones on.
Can you hear me okay?
I got you now.
Can you hear me okay now?
Fantastic.
Okay. All right. Because I'm not using a mic or anything, so I wanted to make sure that the phone was enough that you could hear me.
Yeah, it usually works pretty well that way. I've done it several times, and I know you have too.
Right.
So we got in here. We've got Sandra Ann McGibbon, Gary Holland, Pete the Patriot, James Wells, which is Darlene, I mean. Dangerous Freedom's here. And yes. We've got Sam Tampa, the young guy down there from Florida that you know.
Really? Yeah, he goes to school with my daughter. I thought you were at your meeting, Sam, or is it over with? I don't have a chat. I can't see what's being said.
I click the button to where you would have the chat. Let me double check, make sure it's clicked.
Did that bring it up for me?
It says here, guests can see comments.
No, guests can't see comments. But there's a button down. There's a button down here that says chat. If I hit that, will I be able to see the chat room then?
I don't know. Try it and see.
Oh, I hope I don't.
I'm not sure what you're seeing. Normally, but you're on your phone.
Yeah.
That's probably why you can't see the chat, because I think there's a little arrow far off to the right side, and you click on that, but you won't have that on your phone.
No, I have an arrow that's on the left side, but that will just take me back to dropping the feed.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll do my best.
I don't need to see the chat. If something comes up and somebody wants you to relay it to me, I'm sure you will.
I'm going to anyway.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll make sure that we got Pete the Patriot, Missy Wheeler, CLC in Florida, Tactical Technician, Jeff Brandow. Man, we're doing good. We got 15 people in here in the first 5 minutes.
Hey, before we get going, I want to say something to Sam Tampa.
Sure.
Sam, listen to me. Your new design for your T-shirts for your club suck ass. Okay, looks like you can buy at Cabela's Sporting Goods. I can't believe you guys went with that design. It's stupid. I'm sorry, but it's ridiculous. You need something better than that. But what do I know?
You probably know more than the people who design the shirts.
Well, I mean, I understand I'm not going to go into too much detail unless Sam wants to tell everybody. There's a club he's part of at his college. I'm not going to say anything about it because I don't know if he wants me to talk about it, but they came up with some T-shirts designed. My daughter's in the same group, and she showed us a picture of it, and I just think it misrepresents the group 100%.
Oh, yeah. Liberty Smith, thank you for being here. And Vince Dunn, James Tambro, Missy Wheeler, Fred Knott. Glad you're here, brother. Yep, people are coming in. So, Jim, we've got people in here. Why don't you just go ahead? Because I know you can do this whole hour by yourself. But
who, me? No.
Oh, you, brother. And by the way, I called Jim today, and I called Jim today, and I was talking to him, and I said, well, what topics do you want to talk about? And he said, let's do it ad lib. So that's what we're going to do.
Free flow. It's the best way to go, man. Right off the top of your head. It's the only way to work.
All right. Well, you look really good. You're got a good picture there. So why don't you tell everybody that, I know everybody here knows you, but give us a little information on Florida Jim.
Well, first off, he's an outstanding young man. He went to Juilliard, learned tap and ballet in his 5th grade. No, I'm just kidding. None of that happened. Well, I mean, how far back do you want me to go? I mean, I can go back to the womb.
Well, go back to Illinois.
Okay, go back to Illinois. Illinois was about, what is it now, a year and a half? I'm looking at my wife, Lisa, over here, if you're wondering why I'm looking off.
Well, as pretty as she is, I would look at her too, so.
Now she's doing this to me.
We're gonna have fun here tonight. Yeah.
I honestly, 100% truly, this next statement is absolutely true. I have been so lucky to marry this woman. She puts up with my crap. She puts up with my bullshit. She puts up with everything. And she does it just so even keeled. I don't even know half the time if she's mad at me, but I should say it. When she is mad at me, the few times she has been, okay. She's 4'11". I almost said 4'10". She's 4'11". She's part Italian. Figure it out from there.
Yeah, my second wife was 4'11" and 98 pounds when we got married. So.
Yeah, well, she's always sticking her nose where it doesn't belong. Short joke. Get it?
All right, let's go back to Illinois.
I don't want to. Okay, Illinois. I was born and raised in Illinois, northern Illinois, McHenry County, Illinois, to be exact. My wife Lisa was born in Illinois. She was raised in the same county, isn't it? Isn't Carpentersville the same county?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're both raised in McHenry County. I left Illinois in 1988, and I moved to Tennessee for 2 years. And it was the worst 2 years of my life. I lived in a little town called Asheville, Tennessee. It was a little town, 300 was the population. I moved there to live with my late stepsister who wanted me to come down there. It was just terrible. It was horrible. I mean, I never was so miserable in all my life when I lived in Tennessee. But then I came back to Illinois, and I remained there until a year and a half ago, when we've always wanted to move down to Florida. I've always wanted to move south, not necessarily Florida, but I always wanted to move south. And Lisa, when she was in her previous relationship with her ex-husband, they vacationed in Florida. She kind of turned me on to the Cocoa Beach, Brevard County scene. So we spent 8-9 years vacationing down here. We'd stay at several condos along the beachfront throughout our years down there. We kept progressing further south and south. The last place we stayed at was Indian Rocks Beach, or Indian Rocks Harbor, excuse me. And we came back, and then we were in Illinois for 6 at her mom's house. We stayed there. We rented her mom's house. And then our daughter was in her final 2 years of high school, and she decided she wanted to go to college. And so she picked the college that she's at currently down here. And she's picked one college, applied one time, and got in. And she's a very smart girl, my daughter is, and that's really surprising knowing that she grew up with me. She
I was
takes
thinking
after,
that, yeah.
yeah, me too. She takes after her mother. Thank God she takes after her mother. I mean, I'm not her biological father. I'm her stepdad, but I've been in her life since she was 5 or 6 years old. So same thing, just a different coding. Same different thing though, you know. And like I said, we've been down here. We live in Newport Richey, Florida, and it's going pretty good. We've had a couple setbacks. Some not so pleasant things have happened. My 12-year-old Murano that I loved dearly died, so that's gone. So we're down to one car, which is fine. We don't really need more than that. We live in a house that's extremely small. This house is so small. The day we moved in, we put the key in the front door to unlock the door. We broke the window in the back bedroom. I mean, that's a small house. Okay. Thank you, Henny Youngman. Boom, boom.
Give me 1 second, right quick. Drop it
Sure.
like Scott. Stony Stone is in here. All right, Stony Stone. We're glad you're here, brother. Man, we appreciate your support. Veronica Oglesby, Rebel Jack, and Veronica Oglesby, Amy OO. So right now we have 24 in here, so it's going to be a success, Jim. I do want to do one thing right quick before I'm going to cut you off right quick.
Used to.
I don't want to cut you off at the knees, though. But I do want to give a shout out about the Patriot Storm. Excuse me. Swarm. But you know, we had DM and Sandra Ann McGibbon and Midnight Sun, and I'm going to tell you right now, we got a man by the name of Florida Jim. If y'all have ever heard of him, last I looked, he was sitting somewhere around 978. And we want to get him over 1,000 tonight if we can. If not, we're going to get him there as soon as we can.
Yes, because YouTube is taking away subs from me very, very quickly.
Yep, you get 10, you lose 5. I know.
Yes.
But I got to give a shout out to my brother and yours, Dangerous Freedom.
Yes, Ron's a good guy.
Yeah, Ron's a great guy in Arizona, and Liberty Smith.
I love Liberty Smith too.
But anyway, since you want to ad lib, I just had to give those quick shout outs right quick.
That's fine.
To do my Patriot Swarm duty. But
yes, I would appreciate being over the 1,000 mark. It would be nice. It's been a threshold that's just out of reach, and I'm trying to get there. And I'm doing my part. I'm helping other people. I promoted DM when her time was up. I promoted her time was up when her time for the Swarm was there. Not her time was up. She's not dead, folks. She's still alive. I also just did a video for Sandra McGibbon and Midnight Sun, promoting them, telling people to go over and talk to them. I don't know how well it turned out. Are they in the chat room? Did they get a large amount?
I don't really know. I know that DM did get quite a few. I wasn't able to. I looked at Sam and Midnight Sun, but I looked at them after we had already done the Swarm, so I'm not sure how many they gained, but I'm sure they will gain. In my chat or messages, I had several messages, and they all said that they had picked up both of them, Sandra Ann McGibbon and Midnight Sun. So yeah, they are growing, and we've still got till January 1st to get you and the rest of them up there too.
Well, the funny thing is the closer you get to 1K, it seems the more YouTube snags people away from you.
Oh yeah, for sure.
They don't want anybody hitting that 1K before January 1st. They just don't want it. And I have heard through several sources that the CEO of YouTube, I forget her name, I know it's Sue something or other, something about a leaked memo came out where she said basically that she wants to destroy all small Republican-based channels, and she wants YouTube to be run in a democratic fashion.
And this is the leader of YouTube, right?
Yes, her name is Sue. I forget her last name. If anybody knows the CEO of YouTube, I know it's Sue. That's as far as I know.
That's all we need to know.
And her sister is also a CEO of another social media platform. I forget which one it is offhand. It's not as well known, but they come from a heavily Democratic family. They have the skewed views of reality, like most Democrats do, and it's terrible. It's terrible because YouTube should be the last land of freedom for independent creators, independent news people. We shouldn't have to worry about having our asses chewed out or nailed to the flagpole, because we're preaching what we believe, be it truth, be it fiction, whatever we believe as a creator, we have that right, I think, to be unmolested in our views. We don't have to, we shouldn't have to worry. I mean, there should be some guidelines. I get that, no pornography, no cussing, outrageousness, no hurtful stuff, but across the line information should not be filtered by YouTube in any sense. It should be free for everybody.
Well, I agree with you 100%. There's no censorship is a left-wing propaganda tool. I'm sure that the right does it sometimes, but it's mainly the left, and they want to keep us down. I think when the right does that kind of thing, they're attacking the left. And you and I are both are on the right, and I know that you and I both attack Democrats every chance we get.
Oh yeah, I do, because their stupidity level just keeps increasing as the days go on.
Yeah, it has to have something to do with the water in DC. I don't know.
But here's a good example: Cory Booker.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Meet me in the bathroom, Booker. Right.
Okay, Cory Booker put out a statement a few weeks ago where his campaign polled at 0.0. Okay, that was what he did in the polls. He came out minutes after that came out and said, "This is a good indication that I will be the next president of the United States."
Of course.
What? I mean, come on. What is wrong with this guy? Is he been out in the sun too long? Is that bald head starting to melt from the sun or something? I mean, that stuff happens down here in Florida. The sun down here in Florida makes you crazy. I don't know if you know that or not.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Live PD, Pasco County. It's unbelievable.
That's absolutely crazy.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. The Democrats are like, I like to associate them with where I live, Pasco County, Florida. Now, when I first moved down here, every day I'd go down the road and see something, go, "Oh my God, I can't believe that just happened." Then 5 minutes later, it's like, "Oh my God, somebody just upped that." Well, you hit a plateau after a while where you just stop saying, "Oh my God," at what you see, because it's every day. The Democratic Party is just like Pasco County, Florida. Every time one of them says something, you say, "Oh my God," the next one comes by and tops that. And then they top that one, and they top that one. They just keep getting more and more outrageous. It's just ridiculous. Some of the things that these people say and do. I mean, especially Beto O'Rourke. When I become president, I will take your guns. Not if, when. I mean, how is that for balls? Man, those are elephant balls right there. I mean, come on. The guy is nothing but Obama in vanilla.
Yeah, he thinks he's a Kennedy for some reason because his middle name's Kennedy. He thinks he's Robert Kennedy or something.
Well, he couldn't hold a candle to the Kennedys.
Oh, I agree. Even though they were Democrats.
Yeah, he can't even hold John F. Kennedy's jockstrap. I mean, the guy is such a panty waist liberal pussy. It's unbelievable. I'm trying to watch what I say because I have a tendency to use some language, and I know DM doesn't like that about me.
Well, she's not in here, but Fred Knott is.
Oh, Fred doesn't give a shit.
No, and tactical technician, mystery.
He don't care.
We've got some people evidently from your channel in
Really?
here that I haven't seen before.
Who?
Either that. Well, let's see. There's Mystery D.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, I've never heard of them before. Stake 59, of course, I know him. History B's here,
Who?
and History B. Never heard of her before,
History B.
right?
Yeah. Yes. History B.
And,
History
and
B.
why,
She's the one that comes by and sets everybody straight on history.
yeah, I try to do some history stuff, but I try to do very little because I leave that to the expert. And
Exactly. That's why I
and
don't.
while we're talking about History B, everybody remember that on Saturday night at 9 p.m., DM Damod and History B do a live show on Saturday nights at 9 p.m. So pick up History B and DM if you don't have them. And as a matter of fact, if there's anybody in the chat that you don't know, get to know them.
Yes.
Pick them
Network
up.
while you're out there. Network.
Yeah, network. Feel free.
It's the only way that we're going to be able, as smaller channels, to combat the YouTube giant.
And I've got a couple of mods in here. So if there's any links that y'all want to throw up there, you have my permission anytime on every one of my live streams. Put people's URLs up there and my PayPal. But other than that, you can post it. You can put anything up there that you want to. Well, Jim, while you're here, yeah, let's post Jim's PayPal too. I mean, we're friends, so who cares?
I could use them. I'm trying to get a webcam, and I'm about $70 away.
Yeah, so you got $9.
Yeah. Actually, I got 20, but I sold some stuff on the marketplace the other day. So I like to go dumpster diving, and sometimes I find usable items and I turn around and I sell them. It's free money in my eyes.
It's funny. You're just talking about a camera. I had a camera just like the one I've got, and for some reason it quit working. And then I figured out it was the cord. So I was talking to Buddy Ron, Dangerous Freedom, and I says, man, if you want this camera, I'll send it to you. It's broke, but maybe you can replace the cord. And as soon as he got it, his son took it, plugged it in, and it worked. So he got him a free camera.
That's the way things go, man. Murphy's Law. If it doesn't work for you, it'll work for somebody else.
And I've still got that laptop in there with your name on it. I just got to come up with the money to mail that thing. That thing weighs like 6 pounds. So it cost a little bit. But anyway, I'm going to get that thing to you. I promise I will, Jim.
Well, you do. If you don't, you don't. It's not a big deal. I mean, as it looks now, if I hit the 1K, I'll be able to stream from my phone.
Oh, sure.
I don't think you need the 4,000 watch hours to live stream. I think you just
no. As long as you get the 1,000, or as a matter of fact, you can stream from your laptop.
I don't have one.
Okay, well, you're going to get one.
I don't have a laptop. The few times that I was doing live streams here from the house with my daughter Miranda, we were using her laptop.
Okay.
So that's why she was on summer break, and I figured, what the hell, I might as well have some fun with her because she likes to do this stuff with me. We used to back about 2 years ago, or actually right before we moved from Illinois. Me and her had our own little Saturday and Sunday show that we did on a private Facebook page.
Oh, okay.
Just me and her doing dumpster diving. And I mean, we went out there in all kinds of weather, cold, snow, hot, rain. It made no difference. We went out every Saturday at about 6 o'clock in the morning. Oh, excuse me. And we hit like 15 dumpsters. It was about an hour long. And we would get a good turnout. I think the most we got one time was about 2,200 people.
Wow, that's great.
Well, they came to see her, not me.
Oh, by the way, DM Damod has made it in here.
There she is.
I wanted to give hers along with One Dirty Rotten Imbecile and Dangerous Freedom. Benny Mabe. He's in here. It's M-A-B-E. I don't know if it's Mabe or maybe. But anyway, Benny's in here and Jeff Brandow. Drop It Like Scott. History B. So we've got some good people. We're looking at 36. And I know it was you, Jim, that brought these people in here on a Wednesday night.
No, it wasn't. They come for the body show. Not Dangerous Freedom. Drop It Like It's Scott is less than an hour away from me.
Well, I'm coming to Florida after the first of the year, and I'm going to hit you, not hit you, but I'm going to check you out, along with everybody that lives down there. You know, in Florida, like Tony Patriot, Knights Armory, Disabled Vets Perspective. And
Well,
who did you say?
Knight's Armory, he's way up north. He's in Jacksonville. He's a good 3 hours or more from me up north.
Oh yeah, I was just going to make a circle.
I'm over here in Tampa.
Well, I'll go all the way to Miami down one side and come back up the other, because I'm gonna catch all of you when I come. I don't want to leave anybody out.
Tony Patriot is south of me. I think he's in Sarasota.
Right. And DM's in Florida, I believe.
I don't know where DM is though. I have
DM, tell us, you're close to Tony, aren't you?
But she used to live in Newport Richey. I do know that much.
Oh, okay.
Or Port Richey, one of the two. One of the two.
Okay, great. So I didn't mean to interrupt you there, but I have to ever so often, just to make sure everybody in the chat gets. So that's when you left Illinois, what happened then? I mean, you just picked up and moved, or?
Well, like I said, our daughter started college, and we initially we were all planning on moving down here in May, right? Is that what it was? Me and my daughter came down in May. Lisa was up here for 4 months prior, trying to find a house, trying to get things squared away. She had a job offer. She used to run the #1 Dunkin' Donuts in Northern Illinois. She was the manager. She turned the place around. She's incredibly, incredibly smart with that stuff. She knows how to network people. She knows how to get people to do things. And she's just really good at reading people and understanding where people need to be to get a flow going at a workplace.
Cool.
I don't know what all this shit is, but it helps. And so she took a job at another Dunkin' Donuts in Zephyr Hills, Florida, which turned out to be a complete and utter disaster. Just bad owners. They didn't want to do anything. They were trying to constantly barrage her with texts at 3 o'clock in the morning. They would never let her have a day off. Hindus, you know, and they're a-holes. If they own a business in America, they're jerks. Okay.
That's a given.
They come in. They wanted me to call off somebody.
Yeah. Oh, and the best, she just reminded me of this. Was it your assistant store manager or a store manager from another store?
A store manager from another store, because I was going to be.
Okay, another store manager, her father had passed away. So this idiot who owned these 2 stores called Lisa up and told her to call this manager whose father just died, told her to tell her to come into work. That death in the family was not a reason.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that's what broke her over there. I shouldn't say broke her. That's what made her have the change of heart, and she just quit. She literally just quit. She called me on the phone. She told me she couldn't do it anymore. I told her, I said, do what you got to do. She quit, and was it the next day you had a job?
Yeah, 2 days.
2 days later, she had another job.
Well, that's great.
Well, then she left there, and she went to go work for a place. She was a marketing financial analyst for a company that did a lot of Amazon stuff.
Oh, okay.
And she just left there because the owner of the company hired basically a streetwalker that he used to pork on the side for $50,000 a year and put her above Lisa. And she had no college degree. She had no knowledge of what she was doing. Paid her $50,000 a year just because she was his side action.
Yeah, well, that happens a lot.
But that's okay, because now she is running a heating and air conditioning company. She does all their paperwork, all their bookkeeping, she does everything except for dispatching, right? You don't do that quite yet. She's not that, but that's not her main focus. She's got other things. So she's doing really good over there. She's much happier. There's no stress when she walks in the door. She used to come home from WebDirect and I said the name.
That's all right. Nobody paid attention.
Watching this, but she'd come home from there, and you could just tell there was a lot of tension on her, and just a lot of it's from dealing with the bullshit all day. And you can't go through life like that. You just can't. So, but she's extremely happy now where she's at, and that's good. It's not only that, but it's only 3 minutes away from the house. So
wow, that's fantastic.
What used to be a tank and a half of gas a week now is a tank and a half lasts us 2 weeks. So,
Margot Dahlgren said that she'd have told him to kiss her butt.
well, she didn't. She sent in a very, very business-like resignation letter
Mhm.
and did it the right way. See, that's what's different between me and her. She knows how to handle things. My idea is to grab you by the neck and strangle the shit out of you. Her way of doing it is let me think about it for a couple days. Let me go through the scenarios. Let me see what this avenue takes me, where this avenue takes me, and then I'll figure out somewhere in the middle of that, and I'll do that. And I see. I'm one of these guys. I've just learned through my life being with her. Just shut the fuck up and oops.
DM, where's the cuss jar, DM? DM's here now, so you're in trouble, Jim.
I know. I'm sorry, Donna. I know you
You're
don't like
gonna
that.
have to slide
It's
some
slipped.
money into her cuss jar.
It's slipped. I'm sorry. I'll take it back. There. How's that? Yeah. You know, I was a truck driver for many years. I'm just so used to talking a certain way. I mean, Donna would probably have a conniption if she was at this house and my daughter and we're all here at the house, because I've never ever restricted my daughter from using whatever language she wants because she hears twice as bad in school. So
Oh, sure. Yeah.
why should I pretend that she doesn't know these words? Now, she has recently gotten a little too bad with it. She's been hanging around me way too long. It's funny when you're you're driving in the car with her. I was coming back from her school. We were on 275, and I'm consciously trying to watch my language around her. Some guy cuts us off on 275, and in my head I'm thinking, "You son of a bitch!" And then all of a sudden I hear from my daughter, who's 20, "What the f is this guy's problem?" Yeah, we've taught her to be a fighter. We've taught her to stand up for herself. We've taught her to question everything. Don't just sit back and take anything at face value. Listen to what people are saying to you and go off of what you know and then compare it with what they say.
Darlene Wells has just made sure that DM knows that you owe her money to the cuss jar. She says that Jim said the F word.
Yeah.
So
Jim says the F word quite a bit. So I mean it's a versatile word. Come on, it can be used in any aspect. I mean, it can describe something, it can tell you what something's about. It's just such a versatile word. And like I said, I think I would explode if I didn't say it at least once a day.
my dad used to tell me that cussing is a weak mind trying to express itself.
Yeah.
But I never really believed that. But that's what he used to always tell me. Yeah.
Now, what's funny is when I was doing one of the radio shows that I was part of, the first community radio station that I worked with somebody, I could control myself. I really could. I mean, I could get on that microphone and I could just go to town and not mention even not even the word damn would come out of my mouth. But somehow when I'm talking to people, it just pops out. I mean, I have, here's a little funny story for you. I used to have a ringtone on my phone that said, "You've got mail, mother," okay? And one day, me and my wife, when we were all both in Illinois, we went to one of my daughter's concerts. And we got there a little bit early, and they were practicing and getting set up. And there was a bunch of people. The show starts, it gets to a real quiet point, and my phone went off. And in the middle of this auditorium, you just hear, "You got mail, motherfucker." Now, I thought, oh, man, because we lived in a kind of a snooty town. And I thought, oh, my God, these people are going to have a conniption fit with me. And this one woman turned around, and she got the biggest smile on her face, and she says, "That's hysterical." So, yeah, but it was easy for me to, I guess, because in my mind, when I knew that microphone and I was sitting in that studio, I knew I had to curb my language. So.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But yeah,
we got to see right quick. Man, we got 36 people in here.
36.
Yeah, Rex Havoc, U.S. Navy. I haven't seen him before.
Don't know him.
Squad Chick is in here. Benny
Oh, I
Maybe's
see.
in here. CLC in Florida. Liberty Smith. Right there. And DM, feel free, as always, to put up anybody and everybody's URL who has
She's not going to put up
content.
mine now.
Oh, and DA Archer's here, my great friend from Alaska. The great informer's here.
Oh, I love that guy. Great informer is also the great dirtbag, right?
Yeah, the great douchebag, great dirtbag, great informer. Either way, he's great.
Right. Well, me and him, sometimes we get in some of these chat rooms and we start throwing back one-liners back and forth to each other. And it's hysterical. The man can come up with some really good one-liners, especially his AOC jokes are very funny.
Yeah, I always enjoy his humor, as well as you. That's one thing I can always count on from you, Florida Jim, is that you're going to leave me with a chuckle.
Well, the problem with me is I'm perpetually 15 years old, stuck in a 58-year-old body. Like I said, again, this is where in life that you have to find somebody who's right for you, and that's why I'm so glad that I'm married to the woman I'm married to, because no other woman would put up with me. They just wouldn't. I mean, come on. Would you like to look at this every morning as a woman? No.
Yeah, man, I'll tell you what, you got it going on, and that's fantastic. It's always great if you and your partner actually love each other and get along.
Well, I didn't say we loved each other. I just said she likes me. So
I'm going to stick my internet phone number up here for a few minutes. And if anybody would like to ever call me, come on my show or have me come on theirs, there's a number right there. You can call me anytime between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m.
See, now, one time when you put that phone number up, what I was going to do, but unfortunately it was during your live show, I was going to prank call you on that phone, but I didn't realize that phone was turned off at 7 o'clock.
So no, it's still on. I just, and I'll answer it after 7, but I try to, I have Nugget, my German Shepherd, and I have to take care of her in the evenings and all that kind of stuff. So I try to shut it down after 7. But yeah, if you want to call me later than that, that's fine as well.
Well, I wanted to prank you on the show. I was going to change the voice and do the whole thing,
Well, and that would have been fine as well. You're always welcome.
I did that one time to another show that I'm not going to mention their name because for other reasons. I called them in the middle of their show and I pranked them on my drop phone, and they got upset with me.
Was that a female? I think I know who you're talking about.
We talked about them this morning.
Yeah.
They were a little upset with me. They didn't appreciate the humor in it.
D.A. Archer said that he's trying to get Charity to go live again and would love to have me as a guest. Well, I wish she would. Charity O is a fantastic lady. I love her. I love her stuff, as well as D.A. Archer, Rye Girl, DM, History B. We've got some really good ladies in here. And there's some people in here, I really don't know if they're male or female because I've never really asked them. But we got Harley's G. Gar in here, One Dirty Rotten Imbecile, Fred Knopf.
Rotten Imbecile is a guy.
Yeah, I know that.
Oh, okay. And Harley Guns and Gods is a guy also.
Right.
You threw me for a loop for the longest time was CLC in Florida. I didn't know that was.
Well, see, that's who I was thinking of.
And then she straightened my butt out right away.
Oh, okay. So we know that now CLC in Florida is a lady.
Yeah. Well, see, that's the fun thing about using nicknames on a social media platform. If you don't see the face, you automatically pop in your head what you think this person looks like and what sex. Yeah. We automatically do that. It's just, it's just a natural thing.
It's my buddy Liberty Smith in Oklahoma. We've been talking on the phone for weeks and weeks and weeks, and I had this picture in my head of what he looked like. And I sort of figured he looked like you with less hair. But boy, was I wrong.
Does he got a lot of hair?
It's not that. He's just he's more slender and maybe a little taller.
Oh, so I'm fat?
Well, that's up to you.
No, I'm 6 foot tall and I weigh 217 currently. So,
Wow, that's a good weight.
and most of it's right here. So
Harley said his name is Robert.
I guess
So
that's a
now,
guy.
Harley, from now on, I'll call you by your name.
Robert. Got that.
Vince Dunn, it says identifies as a Medusa. What is that?
A Medusa?
Medusa, Duece.
I don't know. I'd have to see it. I can't see it, so I'd probably get it if I saw it, but I can't see it.
Darlene says, I think everyone knows that James Wells is really Darlene, his
Yes,
wife.
I do. I do. I know it. Yeah. Got hair sticking up all over the place.
So I want to thank everybody for coming in. We've got 38. That's a good number on a Wednesday night. And I want to thank you, Florida Jim, for bringing these people in here.
I don't think I brought them in, that they didn't ride with me.
But
trust me, my bus is small and a lot of people on it lick windows. So and wear helmets. So
now you were actually did radio, is that right?
yeah, I was unpaid. In Nashville, Tennessee, there used to be a rock and roll station called WKDF. I befriended the drive time disc jockey who went by the name of Slats, S-L-A-T-S. He invited me down to the station one night, and I thought, you know, why not? I got nothing better to do. So I went down there, and I ended up starting to go down there like probably 3 times a week. And he informed me that he was trying to get fired so he could move back to Boston. And yeah, to Boston to get his car washed. And he said to me, he said, you know, maybe you can help me. And I said, well, what can I do? He said, every now and then I'm gonna slide. He said, I want you to do, you know, just little stuff like, you know, if you lived out there in that time, this is probably 1987, 88. It was not uncommon. You probably would have heard me, and this is what you would have heard. You're listening to KDF 103.3 Rock and Roll, Nashville's home. Okay,
and that was all you did?
That, and sometimes I do the weather, talk about traffic. And I remember the first time I said something, his hotline rang, and he looked at me and he smiled and he said, guess who that is? I said, I don't know. He said, that's my bosses. They don't like you. I said, how do you know they don't? He goes, they know it's not me. He says, hang on. He picked up the phone in the other room, and I saw him, and he give me thumbs up and stuff. And he comes back and he goes, yep, they're pissed. And I said, what are they pissed about? He says, because they don't recognize your voice and they want to know who you are. He says, so I just told them that you're a friend of mine that's come down and wants to see. And they let me do it. They let me do it as long as I was in the room with somebody. This is days before you had security and stuff like that that you had to get through. So, you know, I would do little, you know, primarily station identification. And if he would slide a piece of copy over to me that was written out what was to be said by him, but he'd let me say it. It was traffic and weather and whatnot like that.
Okay, well, cool.
Every now and then we had a little back and forth on the radio, but that had to stop because his bosses put the kibosh on that. They said, nah, we can't have him on the radio because he's not in the union.
Dangerous Freedom, that Boston has a potty.
Yes,
how do you say that? Let's see. There you go. Boston is famous for their potties.
And then in Chicago, when I was driving a truck, we had a very popular disc jockey out there called Jonathan Brandmeier on WLUP, the Loop 98.7 FM, or 97.9, excuse me. And one day he had a subject where he wanted people to call in and give their opinion. Well, I called in and I gave such a rambunctious, over-the-top soliloquy about the subject that when I got off the air with him, one of his people came on the line. They said, Johnny would like your phone number so he can call you up and talk to you about certain things during the day, if you don't mind. And I said, well, sure, of course. And he ended up calling me, oh my God, probably 10, 15 times. And I'd be in the truck and he called me. He said that it was Jim the trucker and the opinion man or something of that, because I could just go off and go off and go off on, you know, and I was purposely playing a part. I was purposely, you know, hyping it up a little bit more. And while I'm driving a truck going down the road, which I know is not right, I'm talking on a phone and driving a truck. I get it, but I did it anyway. And then from there, I was out of touch with radio for quite. I did go to radio school. I did go for a brief time in Chicago. I went to a place on LaSalle Avenue that's out of business now. It's called CBS, Chicago Broadcasting School. I actually got into a little bit of trouble there. They had a small low wattage radio station. It only broadcast about 2 blocks from there. And me and another guy, we actually booked some airtime, but we had to be there at 3 a.m. because the place was ridiculously crowded all the time. And I made a comment that there's nobody listening, so let's give away a Cadillac. And I said that the first caller who calls in and correctly identifies whatever song we were playing, I said, you get a brand new Cadillac. Now, again, this is early 80s. This is like 82, 81. And I'll be goddamned if somebody didn't call up.
Uh-oh, more money.
And I got my ass chewed about that one. You can't do that, damn it. We don't have cars to give away. We can't even give away a bag of Cheetos. Are you crazy? This is an educational school. You're okay, all right. So I told you this afternoon about the 2 radio shows that me and my wife Lisa did that never aired.
Right.
On the other community radio station, but the one in Harvard, Illinois, I got brought into that one with a girl. Her show was called The Time Machine, but she was a dumbass. I mean, she was a dummy. All she wanted to do was drink beer in the studio and smoke weed and spin dance records from the 80s. Okay, I'm not going to sit there for 3 hours.
I may have dated.
I'm not going to sit there for 3 hours and watch you party. Watched her party and listen to dance music. For one, I hate dance music from the 80s. It's terrible. I can't stand the stuff. And I would suggest ideas to her and, you know, everything I came up with. No, I wanted to bring characters into it. Because one of the things, are you familiar with pirate radio?
Yes.
Okay, I was part of a pirate radio station also called WKRP. Not like WKRP in Cincinnati. It was the guy's initials.
Right.
And we had a show every Saturday night. We broadcast for 4 hours. It was me and 2 other guys that were the 3 main hosts of the show. And we would all when it all started out, we all started writing 1/3 of the show. So, you know, you'd get 1/3, I'd get 1/3, and the other guy'd get 1/3. Well, then it started to breaking down where these guys weren't doing their part. So I was writing, at the end of it, I was writing the entire show. We had a total of 15 characters on the show. I did 13 voices, plus my own. So when I would write these character skits out, and we would record them, the ones we recorded, I would have to, and this is back before really good programming and really good editing tools. We were doing this on cassettes. So you had to have somebody sit there and hit stop, hit record. And I had to do all these changes of voices and stuff. And then it got out of hand. The one guy just completely stopped doing anything. All he wanted to do is just show up and smoke weed with us all night. And read the Bible all night and stuff like that. So, but I enjoyed that show. Like I said, I had 13 characters that I came up with on my own. I did all my own writing for it. And I really thought we were going to go someplace with that. We were actually booked on a local TV show out of PBS TV show out of Chicago, Channel 11, WTTW. Used to have a show called Safari Chicago, where they would come out and talk to people who did little odds and ends in the city, just kind of a spotlight show. We had a setup for that, and that fell apart because of the guy running the show started abusing his prescription medication. He became very violent, very unhinged, and that all fell apart. And and it was too bad because we really did have something good going there, and it could have turned into something really nice. It really could have.
Yeah, it's a crying shame. It just takes one bad apple to spoil the whole bunch,
Well, actually, the 2 other guys, they were the ones that I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to sit here and tell you people that I'm an angel. When we were at the show, yeah, when we did recorded stuff, we were smoking weed and drinking beer and having a good time. Okay, that's just the facts of life. Nothing wrong with it. I wasn't driving home drunk or under the influence or anything like that. But I learned you can't bring that atmosphere into a workplace all the time. Now, we weren't getting paid, but it was still a workplace.
Yeah.
And it was important to me, but it wasn't important to these two idiots, and they blew it all. So, and then what's really funny about that, the two guys that I was with, the one guy actually was living with Lisa when I met her.
Okay, I won't go into that no deeper. But I want everybody to remember, while I got you taking a breath, we need to shout out some people in DM and Sandra Ann McGibbon, the Midnight Sun, and Florida Jim, Dangerous Freedom, Liberty Smith. Some of these people aren't on the sworn list. I'm only given 2 names a week to swarm, but I take it upon myself to keep shouting DM out. And the next few days, it's Sandra Ann McGibbon, and she's a great content provider. She's a great researcher. She dives really deep into these topics. And in the Midnight Sun, she's a philosopher, and she always brings some really good insight. Of course, we have you, Florida Jim, and Dangerous Freedom and Liberty.
Wait a minute. Okay, you can't compare me in the same sentence as a philosopher. Okay. That is like comparing an apple and an orange. I don't even stand on the same ground as somebody who's got a degree in philosophy. I'd like to think that I have a degree in philosophy, but I really don't. I have a degree in real life.
Yeah, I understand that, Jim. I just wanted to give everybody a shout out, and we want to get these people over 1,000. And the only way to do it is for us to subscribe and tell our friends, share it. Share these people out. Stony Stone, fantastic patriot. He sent me a message the other day asking if he could mirror my content. And I sent him a text back, and I don't know if he got it or not. I haven't heard back from him. But Stony, if you're in here, brother, you can mirror, clone, embed, share, whatever you want to do with my content. And I'm sure Florida Jim will go along with the same thing.
Yes. Speaking of cloning, did you like my my promotion video today for the show?
I thought that was pretty cool, talking to yourself. I was wondering which one of you were going to be here.
Well, we decided we were playing with Crazy Glue, so we came together. So we're going to stick together now. We're not going to be separate. The clone lives here, and some other people live over here. So between them, everything's fine. We're on an even keel right now. I think I
got a full house.
I think I should be medicated to some degree.
Well, just to change the subject for just a minute, did you hear about creepy uncle pedophile Joe Biden?
No, we talked about that this afternoon, but I did not hear about it.
Yeah, I wanted to put that out there. He was forbidden to have the Holy Communion at a Catholic mass in South Carolina because of his stance on abortion. And everybody that knows me for any length of time knows that I am pro-life, inside out and up and down. But I think it was great that this priest took it upon himself to tell creepy uncle pedophile Joe Biden, no, you don't get to take the Holy Communion because you're not worthy. And he's not.
No, he's evil.
And then there's one other thing I wanted to bring up that really blew my mind. In Salt Lake City, there's a place called the Salt Palace. Well, the UN now calls it international territory. They were given a venue there, and so now they're calling it international territory. And that building, once you step inside the door, you are no longer in America. Isn't that crazy?
How can that be? How can that be?
I don't know. That's why I threw it to you. I wanted to see what you had to say about it.
Well, I know in our house, when you step in the bathroom after I've been in there, that's now called the danger zone
Okay.
or the gas chamber. Yeah, I mean, we have a small bathroom. We're not used to having a bathroom this small. We're not used to having a house this small. So,
Well,
I mean,
how does Lisa put up with all your shenanigans? I mean, she's got to be a special lady.
oh, she's special, all right. She's over here giving me this again.
Oh man, you're going to owe DM so much money.
I know. I'm sorry, Donna. I know. She got on me. She jumped on me one time. I forget. I can't remember whose stream it was in, but I typed something of swear nature, and she jumped on me, and I apologized, and I said I was sorry, and I put my tail between my little legs, and I kind of walked off. I don't do it on purpose, DM. I really don't. It's just me. It's just me. I can't change who I am. And I can curtail it a little bit, but I can't change who I am. I just can't.
Yeah, it's like trying to change your looks.
No, I don't want to do that either. I'm quite comfortable with the way I look.
I hope Lisa is.
Well, I hope she is too. Although, she's over there covering her eyes. She does find me funny, but it's usually right when I'm getting out of the shower drying off. So yeah.
Oh, we have Joshua Conlins in here. Joshua is a great guy. He's a great supporter. It's always good to see Joshua, and God bless America. Vince Dunn, and of course we have Harley's Gigar and Liberty Smith, and there's so many people just flipping through here Squad Chick, Dangerous Freedom.
Squad Chick is from Illinois.
I won't hold that against her.
I don't either.
Glad to have you here, Squad Chick. And
unfortunately, she hasn't been able to escape the People's Republic of Illinois yet.
Yeah, I have a cousin that lives in Illinois. When he wants to buy a weapon, he has to go to Indiana.
Hang on. Let me show you something real quick. No, I'm going to keep my pants on. Don't worry.
I hope so. Thank you.
This is, can I still have it here? Where is it? Where is it? Oh, shoot. I put it in the safe. I was going to show you an Illinois gun card.
Oh, okay.
Now, this is how ridiculous Illinois has become. It used to be if you were going to buy a gun, you needed a gun card. And this was a $10 thing. They did a background check on you, and they put your driver's license picture on this gun card.
Uh-huh.
That allows you to go into the store and buy a gun. Well, with the election of the Pillsbury Doughboy, also known as J.B. Pritzker, the new governor of Illinois, he has now made it impossible. You have to have a gun card just to walk into the store with somebody who's buying a gun.
Really?
They want you to fill out paperwork if you're just walking in the store to look. They want every little piece of information they can get from you because they're building a database. So when the time comes and Illinois completely implodes upon itself through the Democrats, they're going to come and try to take guns. They're in Deerfield, Illinois. It is illegal for you to have a gun as a private homeowner. You cannot have a gun. Now, here's the funny thing about that. I still lived in Illinois when they passed that legislation in Deerfield. They made a big deal on the local news about one Deerfield man who brought his AK-47 voluntarily to the police department, handed it to the chief of police, and stated, "I feel much better making America safer this way."
What?
Yeah. And this all stemmed because a homeowner shot a bad guy trying to steal his car.
Wow.
The Deerfield police department arrested the homeowner because he shot his weapon defending his property.
Wow.
You believe that? How is that?
I'll tell you how it works around here. A couple of years ago, we had a rabid fox in the neighborhood. And I was on the front porch with my cousins from Illinois. They were visiting, and this fox came walking right across the street. I had 2 dogs on the porch with me. And this fox was, it was ragged looking. It looked really sick. But he kept coming. And so I went in there and got my 357 and I was going to shoot it. And of course, my mom and my cousins, they all said, no, you better call the cops before you shoot that gun in the city limits. So I did. I called the cops. They showed up in about 2 minutes because I'm police station's just down the street. And they showed up. And here I am walking around with this Ruger 357 Magnum.
Nice gun.
And here I am walking with the cops. They've got their guns out. I got my gun out. And I walked with them into the woods and we hunted this thing, and they never said a word about me putting my gun
Well,
away.
you guys have open carry, don't you?
Yeah, you can use as long as it's visible. You don't have to have a concealed carry.
Oh, geez, I wish they had that down here. Oh my
Now
God.
now Dangerous Freedom in Arizona, they've got some really good gun laws. I mean, you
Yeah,
can.
they got constitutional carry, they call it.
That's it, constitutional carry.
Yeah. Because I do talk to somebody who is in Arizona quite frequently, and Florida is actually considering on the next elections or whatever to adopt constitutional carry. And
I wish they ought to do it nationwide.
Yes, they should. Because you know what? A bad guy walking down the street with his brain going, I'm going to mug somebody. He's not going to think about mugging somebody because here comes this person with a hand cannon. Here comes this person with a little cannon on their side. Are you going to really try to rob somebody who's got a gun? Openly visible? No.
There's a little town up here not too far away called Kennesaw, Georgia.
Kennesaw. Know it very well.
Well, those guys, back in the 70s, they passed a law that, of course, they don't enforce it, but it's mandatory for every homeowner to own a gun.
I talked with a truck driver who lived in Kennesaw one time. I was at a stop and he was talking about guns, and I said, "Wow!" I said, "What's the gun laws like you?" And he said, "Well, I live in Kennesaw." I said, "We're mandated to have a gun. We're supposed to have a gun."
Yeah.
Like, you're supposed to?
Yeah, I mean, they don't come to your house and make sure you do, but if you do, then it's expected. It's expected.
Yeah, I mean that's the way it should be. That's our rights. That is in the Constitution. That is our Second Amendment. We should not. I mean, it even says that it's not to be infringed by the government. Not to be infringed by the government. We have guns to keep ourselves safe from the government turning against us, and that's why people don't seem to understand who support the Democratic Society. That's what their end game is. They are repeating history. They are repeating what Hitler did. They're repeating what Mussolini did. These two jags took guns from people. They disarmed the public before they came in and took over their lives. And it's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. History be said that Booker said today on The View that if he was president, there wouldn't be any bad men with guns.
Really?
What? It'd be the only people with guns, probably.
Did you hear what Congresswoman Feinstein said? She said, in reference to gun laws, that gun-free zones work because the bad man will walk up meaning to harm people, see the gun sign that says no guns allowed, and lay his weapon down and walk away.
That's going to happen every day across America. I can see that just because they see a sign. I mean, I see signs that said no weapons of any kind. Oh, I'm concealed carrying it, so I'm not going to pull it out and show it to them, and I walk right in with it.
I mean, I see signs.
Right here? Well, it's over there.
Yeah, but, I see it.
I wear it around.
I see signs that say stop, and I don't do it. I mean, come on,
Oh, and I wanted to show, we don't have much time, but I wanted to show Dangerous Freedom something I found.
You found it?
Yes. I found it the other day.
Wow.
And this is a small K-bar with a leather handle, just like the one I bought from Knight's
Where did you
Armory.
find it?
It was just laying in the road, so I stopped and picked it up.
Oh my gosh. I wish I could find something like that.
But yeah, I like my knives. But we're running out of time, Jim. So while you're gone, I want to give a couple of shout outs to myself. Thursday night, tomorrow night, I'll be going live with Tony Patriot at 8 p.m. Good night. Yeah. There you go.
It's got a nice little feature here. And if you ever get caught in the woods, you just, come on.
Well, I do this all the time. This is my Knight's Armory K-bar. I mean, that is a beautiful knife.
That is cool. I like that.
7-inch blade. Got it from Knight's Armory. So if you want a good knife that will shave you and will last forever, get in touch with Knight's Armory. Somebody's going to have to help me. American Freedom Supply. I think that's the name.
I think that's
check
what it
that
is.
out. Yep, check that out.
Yeah, but
and
I'm not into the shaving aspect, if you could tell. So neither are you.
I hear you. Friday night, I'll have Disabled Vets Perspective on with me.
Alex is a good guy.
He's a great guy. And then Sunday night, American Warhorse is going to try again on Sunday night. We did a live stream. I think it was yesterday, maybe, or the day before. We did a live stream and it worked out well. So he's going to be with us Sunday night. So that'll be a good show. And if anybody would like to come on my show or have me on theirs, feel free to contact me and we'll get it done. But I want to have to wind this thing down. We're a little bit over. We're not locked into an hour. Don't get me wrong.
I know.
But I know people have things to do, and I don't know if Pete the Patriot or somebody like that was planning on coming on at 9.
Pete's on right now.
Okay, then I'm going to get out of here and let him do his thing, and I'll join him over there in just a minute when I get everything tore down. But I want to thank you, Florida Jim, for being with me tonight. It's been a pleasure. I love talking to you. You're a good patriot, and I'm sure that DM will really appreciate those extra funds into the cuss jar.
I'm sure she will. I'm sure she will. She should follow me in real life. That jar, she'd need 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to get out of here, and I want to thank everybody for coming. We had up to 41 at one time in here. So good. Maybe we'll both get a few subscribers. But
that would be
before
nice.
I leave, everybody, if you don't have them, go to DM, Sandra Ann McGibbon, Midnight Sun, Florida Jim, Dangerous Freedom, and Liberty Smith, and support these channels. Share these channels out. If you're already a subscriber, share them out. Let's get some people up to 1,000 and over before January the 1st. Would you have any last comments?
Nothing I can think of offhand, no. But just thank you very much. I appreciate you asking me to be here. And anybody that subscribes to my channel, thank you ahead of time. If you're from here, obviously that's the way it would work. But no, that's pretty much it.
Okay, brother. If you don't mind, I'm going to say a short prayer and take us out of here. Lord Jesus, Heavenly Father, God, we thank you for this opportunity to share time with my friends. Lord, we thank you for this venue that lets us talk and to get our opinions and our views and our thoughts out there and share with each other. Lord, we thank you for all the blessings you give us every day that we don't even notice many times. Lord, you're powerful, you're wonderful, and you're all good. Lord, just look down on us, lead us, guide us, direct us, be with us, carry us in the way you'd have us to go. In Jesus' holy name, I pray these things. So be it, and amen. Florida Jim, I thank you again for being here, my friend, and I'll be talking to you soon.
All right,
everybody have a great time. I'll see you Friday night with the Disabled Vets Perspective. Tomorrow night with I'll be on Tony Patriot, and then Sunday night, American Warhorse. So I'll see y'all then. God bless, and everybody have a great night. Jim, I thank you again for being here.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, brother.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone. Great time. Thank you, Jim.